Hello, ladies. Welcome to the June program. I can't believe it's already June. That's insane. So these are your demo videos. If you've never been with me before, these are the videos that are going to show you your workouts. So every exercise you need to know, explanations, forms, tips, any information on the workout structure, anything to do with that type of stuff will be in the videos, not in the Facebook group. All the information will be in these videos, okay? So some of them are longer than others. I try to make it where it's easy to skip through if you might know something. So the way that I do them is I say what the workout is, I do a quick demonstration of the exercise, and then I go into much more depth with every single exercise after that in case you've never seen it, never done it, never heard it, or you're totally new, okay? So we're on Monday. We're actually on May 29th, even though we're in the June program. And we have lower body, one part. So the star and the underline is how you'll know if there's one or two parts. So if you look ahead on Tuesday, you'll see there's two sets of star and underline. That means there's two parts. So we only have one part today, 5, 6, or 7 rounds. That is your choice. So you're going to choose how many times you want to repeat it, 5, 6, or 7 times. Now, underneath it is the exercises and the number of reps. So the number 12 is how many times you're performing that specific exercise. The number on the top is how many times, the 5, 6, or 7 is how many times you're repeating that list, okay? So the top number of rounds is how many times you're repeating the list of exercises, and then the number in front of the exercises is called the number of reps or repetitions. That's how many times you're performing the exercise in that round, okay? So we have 12 for all of them. We have swings, weighted bridges, forward jump with steps back, and quick pulse goblet squats. So I'm going to demonstrate the swings. This is ideally done with a kettlebell, but I know not everybody has one, so I always show it with my dumbbells. Weighted bridges. I think it's our jump with step back. So it's one big forward jump, stay low, 1, 2, 3, 4. Jump, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then last we have quick pause, goblet squats. I actually usually call them quick pulse, but that's okay. It means the same thing. Okay, so to break this down, swings. So your swing is a hinge motion. I'll talk a lot about this in this program and in every program because it's a really important motion that a lot of people get wrong. So your hinge motion, I'm going to show you with no weight, looks like this. Here, here, here to here. So that seems simple, but it's not, especially when you're moving it and you have it in an exercise. So what it is your hips and your butt are going to move backward. That's what starts the hinge, okay? So they're going to move back toward the wall behind you. As your butt moves, notice my knees are slightly bent, they have give to them. Your upper body is going to naturally start to fold. So you don't want to reach down. You want to let your hips and your butt make the hinge motion for you. So as they move to the wall behind you, and they keep moving back, my back is just naturally folding. I'm not purposely leaning forward. It's just naturally occurring as my hips go backward. So you're gonna let that happen, push, push, push. When your butt stops, when you can no longer move anymore, that's where your natural hinge motion ends, okay? So it naturally ends here. Now, if I were to reach down, look what happens. My back now looks like a cat, right? It arches, it rounds. You never want to have a rounded back anytime you're weightlifting. So when your butt stops moving, that's your key to know that you're done. That part of the motion is done. And then you come back. That's all it is. So once you hit that spot and you're done moving downward, then you stand up, okay? You don't need to squeeze your butt cheeks or anything like that. You just want to come here. When you come here, you're going to feel it pull from behind your knee up to your butt. That's your hamstring. So hinge motions are going to work your hamstrings the most, your butt, and then also your lower back, depending on what exercise that you're doing. So with our swings, it's going to look exactly the same, except obviously we're going to be holding our weight. So our body is going to go like this, here, 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 okay? That's what our body's doing. Now, with our swings, we hold the weight in the middle of our legs. So it's gonna come up between your legs, and then your arms are gonna swing up. Up between your legs, arms swing up, okay? And this is what your arms do, okay? So really, the motion from your hinge also kind of guides your weights. So I'm not purposely leaning forward, and I'm also not swinging my arms up and down. It's all just a natural flow from that hinge motion, okay? So notice my back stays straight, my butt is moving backward, it's not moving down toward the floor, and when I come up, I don't over-exaggerate, I just pretty much stand up, okay? So that can be tricky to some people, so I would suggest even practicing it. Is a mosquito in here? I can't get it. Practicing, I was gonna clap it. Practicing with no weight, if that motion feels foreign to you, because that's a really big staple motion. The hinge motion is really important in weightlifting. So try to get that down. Even if you use zero weight, you are going to feel that pull in your hamstrings, because most of us have tight hamstrings. So even if you need to do like 30 reps with no weight or something like that, that's totally fine. It's more important that you get the form correct than worrying about how it fits into this workout. Next is weighted bridges. Most of us have probably done bridges before. So for the weighted part, you're gonna take your dumbbells. It doesn't have to be any specific weight, or if you have like a barbell at home or something else like a plate or whatever you need to use. But I like to use the dumbbells because they fit perfectly in this crevice where your leg meets your torso. So when your leg is straight, if you bend it up, that crease, that's where I lay my weights. So they're kind of laying diagonal, and I basically just put my palm up against the top of the dumbbell to hold them in place. So I'm not having to grip them to hold them. I'm just basically resting my hand on the weights to hold them because they're sitting in that crease. So you're gonna have your knees bent, the weights are in the crease, and then you're just gonna lift your butt and hips up to the ceiling as high as you can. Give it a little pause, down. Lift, pause, down. Lift, pause, down. This is a very easy one. You can go as heavy as you want with it, or you could also, if you don't have, or if that doesn't sit comfortably for you, depending on like what kind of weights you have, you could also put a resistant band around, and that will add extra tension as well. Next, we have our forward jump steps back. So this is one big jump forward, and then you stay low and you walk backward. So you're going to get down, you're gonna swing your arms behind you. So you're gonna look like this, and then you're gonna jump forward. So when you jump forward, you're gonna bring all your energy up through your hands and jump forward, and then you're gonna stay down. 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of back to where you started, and then another one. Big jump forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So the main premise of this is do a big jump, and when you land, don't stand up straight, okay? So if you wanna take 6 steps back, or depending on what the area, the space that you have, however it will work for you, but you wanna just take one big leap forward, and then take a couple steps back in this low position, okay? And then last, we have our quick pulse or quick pause goblet squats. So this is a variation of a squat. It's a weighted squat. So you'll notice in the Facebook group, there's gonna be at the top of the page pinned, it says resource videos. In those videos is a video that is for bad knees, or you can't bend, anything to do with your legs. You're gonna wanna watch that if you have knee problems, or maybe ankle or something like that, or hip, where you have trouble squatting, because a lot of our movements involve squatting. If not, they are an actual squat. So I try to show my best the variations, but some people might just have to watch that video, and it's all moves and exercises that require either no bending or very little bending, but that still work your lower body. So you might wanna watch that video, write down and master a couple of those moves, and that way when you watch these videos, when you come across something you can't do, you already have a substitute exercise ready to go, okay? Because not only in leg day, but sometimes in our full bodies, sometimes in our hit Tabatas, we do a lot of bending, so you're gonna need it if that's gonna be an issue for you. Otherwise, I also show how to use your chair. So our weighted squat is our goblet squat. So you hold the weight in front of your body. I typically just hold the top of the dumbbell like this, and I rest it against my chest. However, you can hold it, is comfortable, but typically your goblet is held like this. You're gonna get a nice neutral stance with your feet, and then you're just gonna squat down, bounce, up. So you do a tiny bounce at the bottom, okay? That's your quick pause or your quick pulse. Down, bounce, up, down, bounce, up. So I'll show you from the side, down, bounce, up, down, bounce, up. So notice that my back is fairly straight. You don't want to be way down here when you're squatting. It's not that, it doesn't really matter as long as your back isn't rounded, but you just don't need to be doing that. Like that's not part of a squat motion. So if you need to use your chair, you can either full sit or tap and go. So if you have knee issues, you're gonna probably wanna do a full sit. So when you full sit, you just sit in the chair, stand back up. Sit in the chair, stand back up. All you wanna do is make sure that when you're doing your full sit, that you keep your posture and that you don't actually kind of sink into the chair. You always wanna keep everything as similar as you can. The only difference is you're actually sitting down instead of, being suspended from yourself. So that would be your full sit. If you want to use this to tap and go, it would just look like this. So right when you hit the chair, you stand up. The point of the tap and go is if you are having trouble with depth. So when you do a squat, like I am obviously very used to doing squats, I know where I should be. If I do this, I know that that is not low enough. If I do this, I know that's too low. I know exactly where my butt should land when I do my squat, okay? And sometimes for different squats, it might be a different position. If you are not used to squatting, or you have done it, but you just don't feel confident in it, you can do the tap and go. So the point of the tap and go is you're always gonna hit the same spot, okay? So you wanna make sure that it's not like too high of a height or way too low. Like this is just a normal chair and that's a good height. It's gonna condition your body, your muscle memory to get used to hitting that same spot. So if you normally go to squat, and I see people do this all the time, they go down and then they're like, maybe a little bit, like they just kind of don't know where they should be. It kind of makes the squat ineffective because then you're losing all your power by kind of moving up and down and trying to find out where you're supposed to be. So if you do not know, or you are just, it's very new to you and you feel like you just aren't sure, you're gonna wanna do tap and go because it's gonna make sure that your butt hits the same spot with every single squat, okay? And then after maybe a month or maybe less, maybe more, you'll feel like you got it and then you can try without it and I guarantee you're probably gonna hit that same spot every single time. So that's the point of the tap and go, okay? So again, I try to do as much explaining, give as many examples. I have the resource videos, but if you're doing this and you come across something you can't do, and I also didn't provide a modification or substitution, you can always message me and we will come up with something, okay?